guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather McCarthy if you are new here. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Gather Round's Ocean unit, kind of a little bit about Gather Round in general, and my completely honest review, and would I ever use this again? As I said, welcome back to my channel. A little bit of background on me. I am a second-year stay-at-home homeschooling mom to my 3-year-old daughter. We have been doing Becca's preschool since she was about 2.5, and we'll be starting our second year on July 5th. So I think that's like really soon to when you are seeing this video. I think it's Monday after you see this video, we'll be starting back to school. So over the month we took off, we only took 1 month off for summer. We only took June. We did the Gather Round Oceans mini units. And I have a couple videos. I have a flip through and a planning video that I will link up above. But I just wanted to go into, now that we are finished with it, I'm gonna put it that way, we're finished with it, what we thought and how appropriate I think it is at this age. So we used the pre-reader version. Obviously my daughter is 3 and their pre-reader says for ages 3 to 5. So I thought we were kind of in that range. It was good to use it. My daughter's about 3.5, she'll be 4 in February. So I thought we were really solidly in that range. So we decided to give this a shot. Honestly, my honest opinion, I would not repurchase another curriculum from them. Now I do want to preface this with, we did not use it as it is intended. This curriculum is intended to be a full curriculum. So see, your entire school, your entire education is supposed to be this curriculum. We didn't do that. We did it more like a mini unit just to add extra benefit to our month off. That might have been part of where it didn't quite work for us. But I also just think a lot of these activities weren't age appropriate for a pre-reader. I'm gonna show you some clips of the book as I'm talking here so you know what I'm talking about. There is a ton of reading. Every lesson was at least 2, 3, 4 full-size pieces of paper. And that was just too much. So we were doing this in the evening after my husband got home from work, after dinner, and getting my daughter to sit still and listen to 2, 3, 4 pages of just factoids. Like, it was just too much. She wouldn't sit still that long. She wouldn't listen that long. She didn't want to do the coloring page that long because that was most of the pre-reader book. Most of this one in my hand was coloring pages for them to do while I was reading, or for her to do while I was reading. And yeah, she didn't want to color that long. Like, it was taking me probably a good 20 minutes just to read the lesson. And no 3-year-old is sitting still that long. I'm sorry, they're just not. So that was my first qualm, was that the lessons were just too long, especially for something that I believe claims to be Charlotte Mason inspired. It was not drilled down. It was very wordy, very factoid heavy, and very long. The next issue that I had is that the wording in the parent guide, yeah, it was really advanced. Again, I'm sitting here with a 3.5, almost 4-year-old, and I'm having to look up words, okay? I'm a 34-year-old grown woman with a master's degree, and I had to look up what words meant. I had to Google words. I'm not uneducated. I'm not a 3-year-old. I don't understand how, if I, a grown woman, have to struggle and look up words in this curriculum, how a child is supposed to understand it. Now I know I could look up the word and then explain to her what the word means, and that was what I was doing, but that's just adding even more time to the already long lesson. So I didn't enjoy that. I found the lessons very hard to read, to be honest. They were just very dry and there was no fun in it, in my opinion. Other than, unless you think like people getting speared by flying fish. I mean, I found that factoid interesting, but I didn't find it fun. So that was another one of my big issues, was that the lessons were just written well above a pre-reader level. If I was to actually say what level I think this was written for, I would say a junior high to high school level. And even then, they're quite possibly gonna need a dictionary or dictionary.com next to them. I certainly don't see these lessons being comprehended fully by someone ages 3 to even like 8, 9. Like even that, I think they're just not gonna fully comprehend. They might listen better by the time they're older, but I don't think they're actually going to know what you're talking about just because of the way it was worded and the way it was written. So that was kind of my issue. It was really pretty. Like there was a lot of really pretty graphics and a lot of really pretty stuff like that my daughter did enjoy looking at. You know, I would kind of turn my teacher guide sideways so that we could both look at it. But again, she didn't want to sit there and look at pretty pictures of fish for that long either. So really this curriculum just did not work for us. And into the pre-reader book, so the way this worked, you had a coloring page to do during the lesson and then an activity to do after the lesson. I had major issues with this part. And my husband did too, to the point that there's a lot of these that we just did not do. One, they're pre-reader activities that are fully laden with words. Let's see, the first one that stood out to me, let me see if I can find it. This was lesson 3. This was the activity. So you're supposed to read all of these words and match up the correct layer of the ocean. So my child can't read. These are full paragraphs and the labels are words. How is my toddler, my pre-reader, supposed to be able to do this? Short of me literally 100% telling them the answer and them gluing down the label. So the only benefit I saw of this activity was working on her cutting and gluing skills. But there was 100% no way she was gonna be like, oh, I got that one right. Because there's no way you can unless you can read. Like I had major issues with stuff like that. Like pre-reader activities should not be paragraphs and paragraphs of reading. Some of them, on the other hand, like this one, where you pick out the correct clothes to wear when you are cold, that one she could do. Was age appropriate. It worked on her holding a pencil or crayon correctly and making circles. So that was age appropriate, but I didn't really see how it tied to the lesson. And that was another issue with a lot of these activities is you would read the entire lesson, say your lesson's about frogs or jellyfish, or not frogs, turtles or jellyfish or something, and then your activity is about Jesus or Morse code. Like they just did not flow to me. Like the one that really stood out to me was we were learning about luminescent fish. All right, glow in the dark fish. Cool, right? And then you go to the activity and the activity is about Morse code and the founder of Morse code. Like, I get if you were doing this as your full curriculum, maybe you could explore that more and make those connections about how the luminescent fish use their luminescence like how we use Morse code. That seems like a stretch to me, but doing it as more of a mini unit or a standalone unit, it didn't work. And again, a pre-reader isn't gonna be knowing who Morse is, what Morse code is. They're just not going to understand it. I had issues. And then this one, I'm sorry, I'm just going like page by page to show you like the activities. This one is one of the Bible ones. I really thought they would pick out Bible verses that were more connected to the lessons, or they would at least mention the Bible verses in the lessons and like how you could draw a correlation between what we just read in the lesson and this Bible verse. Totally did not. Read the entire lesson, get to the activity, and it tells you to read Jonah. Okay, cool, he gets eaten by a big fish. I know the story. Read it to her. But it still just didn't really seem to tie together. Like, I get how it correlated, but it wasn't tied in like I wanted. We ended up getting through about lesson 13 of this before we just gave up. There are 20 lessons. Honestly, after 13, I was done. I was done reading it. It was boring me. Like, I'm the adult. I'm supposed to be enjoying reading these things. Usually I really do. Usually I learn a lot. Like we did a campfire curriculum Easter one. I learned so much. I expected to learn a lot about the ocean. I expected to learn a lot about ocean animals because I had seen YouTube videos where people pretty much said it's an animal book, not an ocean book. And I was okay with that. I expected to learn a lot. I can't say I did. And not because there wasn't information I could have learned, not because there wasn't stuff in there that I didn't know. There was, and I could have. But the way it was written, to me, was so boring and so dry and so factoid, 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 that I couldn't even consume it. My brain couldn't consume all the facts that were being thrown at me. And if I'm saying that, again, if I'm saying that as a grown woman, my daughter's not taking anything out of it. So we ended up having a day where Madison got sick. She was up at 3 a.m. And that night I was like, you know what, we're not doing the lesson. We've been up since 3, I'm going to bed. And after that, we never picked it up again. So I'm going to say this was kind of a waste of money. It didn't work for how we wanted to use it. It didn't work for this age group. I might retry it in the future, again, when she's more like in high school. I certainly would not touch this again in elementary, probably even middle school. I don't think I would touch it. Maybe high school, and maybe for like a core subject that she really needs to know, like the US government or something, when we're doing like senior year government class. Like that's the only one I can think of this that I would touch again. I've tried 2 of these curriculums now. Both of them we have stopped halfway through, if even that far. I think Christmas we got maybe 3 units into it. And like I said, the first time I assumed it was just my daughter was young. She was too young for it. This time she's in the age range. She's in the age range they provide. And we still just can't get into it. So I think, unfortunately, while I love this idea, I love the mini unit style or approach of homeschooling for add-ons. I don't love it for an entire curriculum. We can do another video on that, but for me, it doesn't work as an entire curriculum. It doesn't make sense. And yeah, it's just not practical to me. But as a add-on mini unit, these don't work to me. They're too advanced. They're too much. So yeah, unfortunately, we did not love this. I do, though, want to circle back and hit on the books that we used for this mini unit. Again, I've linked up above somewhere. I don't know if it goes here or here. I never know which side it goes on. But I've linked up above the video where I planned this all out. So I did want to go back and touch on how some of that went. Our books, we did read every single one of them. And she actually enjoyed most of them. The only one I'm going to say was kind of above her head and had a hard time holding her attention was the Magic School Bus, which is honestly surprising to me because I always think of that as being like kindergarten level or a lower level book. There was a lot of factoids in that book that didn't quite hold her attention, but that's fine. I mean, we still read it, she listened to it, she was running around like a crazy woman and not really paying attention. But the other ones all seemed to hold her attention. She would sit in our laps and look at the pictures. Her favorite one, this surprised me, her favorite one ended up being the Titanic Lost and Found book, which I thought was gonna be way, way above her head. It said 3rd grade level. I was like, but I wanna read about the Titanic. Yes, that's me. I love history and I wanted to read about the Titanic. So we did that one, even though I thought it was way above her level. And that was the one she paid the most attention to. And the next day, she was still asking me questions about it. That really kind of taught me, like, don't restrict your book levels to like their level. Although I always add 2 years, I always do kindergarten, but I don't know, this one, like, it really held her attention. And she was really like the next day, like, all those people died. They all died. I was like, yeah, a lot of them did. So that was really interesting that that one was the one that stuck with her for some reason. We also watched the movie Andre, which she loved. I found it at our local library. She really enjoyed that movie. We also read the book. Again, fully enjoyed that. She would scream Andre and run around the house every time she saw him on the TV. She didn't sit in a chair and watch the movie the whole time, but you know, she'd be playing at the coffee table when he would come on the screen, Andre! So it was really cute. If you just heard that, she's yelling Andre over there. Other than that, the crafts, we really didn't do them. The crafts and science projects I failed at. We did not end up incorporating them. We did one, we did the sun catcher with the glue. I will say that was a major fail. It never dried. Like, I left it sitting on I have a dresser right here where we keep all of our mini unit stuff. I left it there for a week and it was still wet. So that was kind of a fail. That was a flop of a project. The rest of them we just didn't do because, like I said, we stopped the unit, so we just kind of stopped the projects. And also both, sorry if you just saw my lights flicker, both of our field trips got rained out. We went from like drought level, no rain here in Florida to torrential downpours every single day. So we were supposed to go to the beach last weekend, torrential downpours all day, so we did not do that. And we were supposed to go to Georgia and go to a lighthouse. Again, torrential downpours the entire day we were supposed to do that. Pretty much the entire month of June, it has been rain. So our field trips did not happen, and this actually correlates to why we didn't take a long break in the summer and why we take our longer break in the winter. If you missed my planning video, I will link it up above. But this is what our summers are like here. You really can't plan much because every day pretty much it rains. It's always raining. So, and I know everyone, and I say that, everyone thinks of like, oh, it's a typical sun shower in Orlando for like an hour in the afternoon. No, it's torrential downpour, like Arizona monsoon season all day. Yeah, that's what it's like where I live at least. But that is it for this video. If you tried one of these units, comment down below and tell me what you think, especially if you tried them with a younger student. I know people with older kids, a lot of them seem to love it, although I've seen some high school parents saying it wasn't really sufficient for what they were doing either. But comment down below if you have younger kids, if you like this curriculum, if you use it like I do, or if you use it as your whole curriculum. I would love to hear other people's opinions. I'm always open to listening to them and hearing them. Like I said, I really wanted to love this. I just personally did not. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more reviews like this. And if you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I have new content every Tuesday and Friday that if you enjoyed this one, you'll probably enjoy. So I will see you all on Tuesday with my homeschool room tour. Yeah, I'm gonna clean this place up and show it all to you. So I will see y'all on Tuesday. Bye guys.